the dawn casting its first light on the world, Alex, now back in the realm of the living, felt the weight of his newfound responsibility. The plea from the mirror's reflection was not just a warning, but a call to action. The balance between the worlds had been disrupted, and the task of restoring it lay heavily on his shoulders. As he navigated his way back through the city's awakening streets, Alex's mind was a whirlwind of thoughts. The once familiar sights now seemed alien, imbued with a hidden depth he had been blind to before his journey into the shadowy realm. The people he passed, each absorbed in their own lives, were unaware of the thin veil that separated them from the untold mysteries Alex had just encountered. Determined to uncover more about the balance that needed to be restored, Alex delved deeper into his research. He revisited the forums, now with a new sense of purpose, reaching out to those who had shared their experiences with items from the unseen exchange. He sought out ancient texts and obscure manuscripts, piecing together the history of the mirror and its connection to the broader cosmos of magical artifacts. His quest led him to an old bookshop tucked away in a forgotten corner of the city, its shelves laden with dusty tomes and ancient scrolls. The shopkeeper, an elderly man with keen eyes that seemed to see right through Alex, handed him a leather-bound volume, its pages yellowed with age. The Compendium of Astral Artifacts, read the title, embossed in gold on the cover. Within its pages, Alex found references to the mirror and its origins. It was crafted by a cabal of sorcerers as a bridge between worlds, a tool for communication and exchange with beings from other realms. But with such power came great risk, and the mirror was meant to be guarded. Its use regulated by intricate rituals that maintained the balance between the worlds. The disruption of this balance, as the mirror's reflection had intimated, was linked to the transactions made through the unseen exchange. Each item traded, each deal struck without the proper rights, had weakened the barriers between realms, inviting chaos and allowing entities from beyond to slip through the cracks. Armed with this knowledge, Alex understood that the task ahead was monumental. He needed to track down the items that had been traded, to understand the nature of the deals made, and to find a way to reverse the damage. But he was no sorcerer, and the rituals described in the compendium were complex, requiring knowledge and power he did not possess. As he pondered his next move, a message appeared on his phone, an anonymous tip about a gathering of individuals who had purchased items from the unseen exchange. They were meeting that very night, drawn together by shared experiences and the desire for answers. Seeing an opportunity to learn more and perhaps find allies, Alex made his way to the meeting. The group was diverse, each member having come into contact with the exchange in different ways. But all were marked by their encounters, bearing the weight of unseen scars. As they shared their stories, a plan began to form. Together, they would seek out the origins of the unseen exchange, to find the keepers of the balance, and learn from them how to restore it. It was a daunting task, fraught with danger, but the alternative was to watch as the world unraveled, the barriers between realms collapsing entirely. As the meeting drew to a close, and the group set forth on their quest, the story hangs in the balance, the outcome uncertain. The journey ahead is shrouded in mystery, the path uncharted. What lies ahead is unknown, the story waiting to be continued, its chapters yet to be written. The newly formed group, bound by their shared encounters with the unseen exchange, embarked on their quest under the cloak of night, their steps guided by the sliver of hope that they might restore the balance that had been so recklessly disturbed. Alex, with the compendium of astral artifacts tucked under his arm, felt a mix of apprehension and determination. Each member of the group brought their own piece of the puzzle, their experiences with the exchanged items weaving a tapestry of cautionary tales. Their first destination was the rumored location of an ancient library, hidden deep within the city's forgotten catacombs. Legend spoke of it housing knowledge lost to time, including secrets of the old sorcerers who had first crafted the mirrors as gateways between realms. The descent into the catacombs was treacherous, the air thick with the dust of ages, and the silence punctuated by the distant drip of water. As they navigated the labyrinthine passages, the shadows seemed to press in on them, a palpable presence that watched and waited. Finally, they stumbled upon the library, its entrance marked by archaic symbols that hummed with a faint energy. The doors creaked open to reveal rows upon rows of shelves, each laden with books and scrolls that whispered secrets in the silence. Within this trove of ancient wisdom, the group searched for any reference to the rituals that could mend the fractured boundaries between worlds. Hours turned into days as they deciphered cryptic texts and pieced together the rites necessary to undertake their monumental task. It was during one such late-night session that they uncovered a series of murals hidden behind a row of shelves. The murals depicted the original creation of the mirrors, the formation of the unseen exchange, and the catastrophic consequences of its misuse. At the center of the final mural was an intricate diagram of a ritual, complex and demanding, yet it offered a glimmer of hope. Armed with this newfound knowledge, the group prepared to conduct the ritual. They gathered the necessary components, each item steeped in the mystic energies of the old world. The chosen site for the ritual was the ruins of an ancient temple, its foundations said to lie at the crossroads of ley lines, channels of the earth's primal energies. As the night of the ritual approached, the air grew charged with anticipation. The group assembled in the heart of the ruins. The diagram from the mural replicated on the ground. Each member took their place, their voices joining in a chant that rose and fell with the rhythm of the unseen forces they sought to harness. But as the ritual reached its climax, the ground beneath them trembled, the air shimmering with uncontrolled energy. The boundaries between realms thinned, the fabric of reality stretching to its breaking point. Shadows danced at the edge of vision, and for a moment, the veil lifted, offering a glimpse into the realms beyond, their inhabitants watching, waiting. The story pauses here, at the precipice of revelation. The outcome of the ritual hanging in the balance, the group stands united, their fate intertwined with the ancient forces they seek to command. The path ahead remains shrouded in mystery. The tale of the unseen exchange, unfolding with each choice, each challenge, waiting to be continued. As the ritual's energy reached its zenith, the very air around the group crackled with power. The ancient symbols on the ground glowing with a fierce light. The members of the group, linked by a circle of clasped hands, felt a surge of energy coursing through them, connecting them not just to each other, but to the very essence of the realms they sought to reconcile. Suddenly, the ground beneath them shook violently, throwing some to their knees as the sky overhead roiled with dark clouds. A bolt of lightning split the air, striking the center of the ritual circle and sending a shock wave of energy radiating outward. The members were thrown back, scattered around the edges of the circle, as the center where the lightning had struck began to warp and distort, opening a fissure that seemed to lead into an abyss of swirling shadows and whispering voices. From this fissure, figures began to emerge, their forms nebulous and shifting, made of darkness and light intermingled. These were the inhabitants of the realm beyond, drawn to the tear in the veil that the ritual had inadvertently widened. The group, recovering from the shock of the disruption, watched in awe and horror as these entities began to explore their new surroundings, their intentions unreadable. Alex, realizing the gravity of the situation, scrambled to his feet, shouting instructions to regroup and attempt to close the fissure. The group, shaken but resolute, rejoined hands, focusing their collective will on mending the tear they had unwittingly expanded. Their chants rose again, this time not in anticipation of bridging realms, but in desperate hope of sealing the breach they had created. As they chanted, the figures from the fissure seemed to pause, their attention drawn to the group's efforts. Some receded back into the shadows from whence they came, while others watched, their forms flickering at the edges of the fissure, as if torn between curiosity and caution. The energy within the circle intensified, the symbols on the ground blazing with a light so bright it was nearly blinding. The fissure began to shrink, the edges curling inwards. But just as it seemed the breach might close, a powerful force from within the abyss surged forth, halting the progress. The story hangs in this moment of tension. The group's efforts to close the fissure meeting the formidable resistance of the realm beyond. The entities at the edge of the abyss, their intentions unclear, remain a wild card in this delicate balance of powers. The outcome of this struggle, a pivotal moment in the tale of the unseen exchange, remains uncertain. The narrative poised on the brink of new revelations and challenges, waiting to be continued. As the standoff at the fissure intensified, the group's chants became a desperate plea, their energies focused on the rapidly closing gap between the realms. The entities, now seemingly understanding the stakes, hesitated, their forms flickering uncertainly at the brink of the abyss. In a moment of unprecedented unity, the group's will converged into a singular force, a beacon of light piercing through the darkness. The fissure, under this relentless pressure, began to close, the edges drawing nearer with every heartbeat. The entities, realizing their time was short, retreated into the shadows, their whispers fading into silence. Just as the last sliver of the abyss sealed shut, a deafening roar erupted from within, shaking the ground and the very air itself. The group was thrown to the ground, a blinding light enveloping everything, an eerie silence descending in the wake of the tumult. As the light receded, the group slowly rose, finding themselves in the ruins once more, the night calm as if untouched by the events that had transpired. The ancient symbols, their glow extinguished, lay dormant on the ground, the ritual circle undisturbed, the fissure gone as if it had never been. In the aftermath, a heavy realization settled upon them. They had touched the fabric of reality, danced with forces beyond their comprehension, and emerged unscathed, or so it seemed. The balance between the realms had been restored, but at what cost? The veil had been thinned, the entities made aware of the world beyond their own. As the group disbanded, returning to their lives marked by the ordeal, the city around them seemed unchanged, the people oblivious to the near catastrophe that had unfolded in their midst. But in the shadows, things had shifted. Whispers filled the night. Sightings of inexplicable phenomena increased, and the once dormant items from the unseen exchange began to stir, their energies rekindled. Alex, his life irrevocably altered, could not shake the feeling of being watched, of eyes lurking in the shadows, waiting. The compendium, now locked away, seemed to pulse with a latent energy, its secrets too dangerous to explore further. The line between the realms had been held, but the echoes of the breach lingered, a haunting reminder of the night the worlds had almost collided. The story concludes with a chilling realization. The veil between worlds is more fragile than ever, the balance precarious. The events at the ancient ruins were but a harbinger of what might come if the unseen forces are tampered with again. In the end, the horror lies not in what happened, but in what could still unfold. The unseen exchange continuing in the shadows, its transactions more cautious, its participants wary of the thinning veil, the story waiting to be awakened once more. Light, a beacon amidst the encroaching shadows, pulsed with a serene yet powerful energy, its radiance piercing the veil of darkness that the malevolent entity had woven around me. The warmth of the light felt like a lifeline, a stark contrast to the cold dread that the entity's presence instilled. Yet, as I reached out towards the light, a force unseen held me back, the chains of the eldritch curse binding me to the darkness. The entity, its form now a towering mass of writhing shadows, spoke of the light as a mirage, a false promise of salvation designed to lead the unwary into further despair. Its words, laced with venom, sought to sow doubt, to keep me tethered to the curse that had claimed the eldritch lineage. Yet within the depths of despair, a flicker of rebellion ignited within me. The stories of the eldritch family, their rise and fall, the dark pacts, and the cursed legacy had become chains that bound not just their bloodline, but any who ventured too close to the secrets they had sought to bury. I refused to accept that my fate was to be another shadow lost within the confines of the estate's tragic history. With renewed determination, I sought to understand the nature of the light, to discern its source and the reason for its presence amidst the darkness. The entity, sensing my resolve, unleashed a torrent of shadows in an attempt to extinguish the light, to envelop me in an abyss from which there was no escape. The air crackled with energy, the battle between light and darkness unfolding before my eyes. The light, despite its serene appearance, held its ground, its brilliance intensifying with each assault, repelling the shadows with a force that spoke of ancient power and untold secrets. As the struggle waged on, the entity revealed that the light was not merely a beacon, but a key, a symbol of hope and resistance against the darkness that had consumed the Eldritch estate. This key, it seemed, was tied to the very essence of the Eldritch bloodline, a beacon passed down through generations, waiting for one who could wield its power to break the cycle of despair. The revelation struck a chord within me, the pieces of the puzzle beginning to align, the whispers, the visions, the pull towards the estate hall were threads in a tapestry that had ensnared me from the moment I set foot on the cursed grounds. My connection to the Eldritch legacy, once a source of fear, now became a beacon of hope, a chance to challenge the darkness that had claimed so many, with the entity's laughter echoing in the void. A test of wills unfolded, the light against the shadows, hope against despair. The outcome of this struggle, a pivotal moment in the tale of the Eldritch estate, remains veiled in uncertainty, the path ahead shrouded in mystery. And so, I stand at the edge of revelation, the light a guide through the darkness, its promise of answers, a call to arms against the shadows that seek to claim me. The tale of the Eldritch estate, a saga of darkness and light, of curses and redemption, continues to unfold. Its conclusion, a chapter yet to be written. The end, for now, in the heart of this struggle, where light and shadow clashed with a ferocity that seemed to tear at the very fabric of reality. A realization dawned upon me. The light, with its unwavering brilliance, was not merely an external beacon, but a manifestation of something far deeper, a reflection of an inner strength that I had yet to fully comprehend. This light, intertwined with the legacy of the Eldritch bloodline, suggested a connection that was more personal, more intrinsic than I had dared to imagine. As the entity's assaults grew more desperate, the shadows writhing with malice and intent, the light began to reveal its secrets to me, whispered tales of an eldritch ancestor, a matriarch of unparalleled wisdom and strength, who had foreseen the calamity that would befall her lineage, filled my senses. She had imbued the essence of her hope, her resilience, into the very heart of the estate, crafting a key that could one day break the curse should one worthy enough arise. The entity, with its cacophony of shadows, seemed to recoil at the mention of the matriarch, her name a bane to the darkness. It was then that I understood. The battle I was ensnared in was not merely my own, but a continuation of a war that had spanned generations, a fight between the enduring light of hope and the consuming maw of despair. With each revelation, the light grew stronger, its warmth penetrating the cold that had settled in my bones. Yet, as clarity began to dawn, so too did the realization of the immense burden that now rested upon my shoulders. The key, a beacon of hope, also served as a reminder of the immense challenge that lay ahead, the unraveling of a curse woven through the very annals of time. As the night deepened, the estate around me seemed to pulse with a life of its own. The ancient stones and withered timbers whispering secrets of the past. The glade, with its ancient altar, now stood as a crossroads, a point from which the path forward was fraught with peril and promise in equal measure. The entity, its form ever shifting, watched with eyes that burned like coals in the night, its voice a serpent's hiss that sought to sow doubt and fear. The key you seek, it whispered, will demand more than you are willing to give, a sacrifice that will rend the very essence of your being. As the entity's words echoed in the stillness, a cold wind swept through the glade. The rustling leaves and creaking branches, a symphony that spoke of ancient sorrows and unspoken fears. The light, my beacon in the darkness, flickered as if buffeted by an unseen storm. Its steady glow, a testament to the fragility of hope amidst the encroaching shadows. And so, I stand at the precipice, the weight of my lineage and the fate of the Eldritch estate resting in the balance. The path ahead remains veiled in shadows, each step a dance with destiny. The light my guide through the darkness that seeks to engulf me. The end for now. within the labyrinth's heart, where the boundary between the corporeal and the ethereal seemed to blur, the trials began to unfold with a sinister subtlety. The walls, adorned with the visages of eldritch ancestors, seemed to watch with a silent judgment, their eyes following my every move. The air was thick with the scent of decay and the weight of centuries-old secrets, the silence broken only by the distant echo of my footsteps. The first trial emerged as a room bathed in a pale, ghostly light. At its center, an ancient tome bound in shadows. The tome, as I approached, whispered tales of the Eldritch family's rise to power, the words leaping off the pages to form visions of triumph and tragedy. Yet, as the tales unfolded, the darker truth began to surface. The cost of their ambition laid bare. This trial, it seemed, was one of knowledge and understanding. A confrontation with the truth of the Eldritch legacy and my own place within its tangled web. With each secret revealed, the shadows within the room grew denser, their forms more distinct, as if the very darkness sought to drown out the light of truth. Yet, amidst the encroaching gloom, the matriarch's presence offered a semblance of solace, her spirit a guiding light that kept the shadows at bay. Emerging from the trial of knowledge, the labyrinth shifted once more, its walls pulsating with a life of their own. The next trial materialized as a garden, its beauty a stark contrast to the decay that gripped the rest of the estate. Here, amidst the blooms that seemed untouched by time, the whispers of the matriarch spoke of a trial of heart, where the true measure of one's spirit would be tested. The garden, with its winding paths and hidden alcoves, held a reflection of every joy and sorrow that had touched my life. Each petal, each thorn, bore the weight of memories long forgotten. The garden, a tapestry of my own soul. It was here, in this sanctuary of verdant beauty and hidden pain, that the shadows sought to ensnare me, to bind me to the sorrows that lay buried within my heart. As I navigated the garden's trials, the matriarch's voice became a distant melody, her guidance obscured by the labyrinth's ever-shifting nature. The trials, each a reflection of the Eldritch curse and my own entwined fate, grew more arduous. The path ahead fraught with shadows that whispered of despair and redemption in equal measure. And so, I continued deeper into the labyrinth, each step a testament to the resolve that burns within me. The trials, with their echoes of past and present, weave a story that is both mine and that of the Eldritch lineage, a tale that remains unfinished, its conclusion hidden within the heart of the estate. The end, for now. As I ventured deeper into the heart of the labyrinth, the trials grew increasingly harrowing. Each step forward, a descent into the very depths of my soul, and the dark history of the Eldritch lineage. The garden's beauty gave way to a twisted, shadow-infested wilderness, where the line between reality and nightmare blurred. In this final trial, the shadows coalesced into a tangible form, manifesting as the entity that had haunted my journey from the beginning. Its form was ever-changing, a maelstrom of darkness and despair that mirrored the tumultuous history of the Eldritch family and the personal demons I had fought to overcome. entity spoke in a cacophony of voices, each whisper a thread in the tapestry of curses and sorrow that had plagued the eldritch lineage. It challenged me to surrender to the darkness, to accept the futility of resistance, and join the countless souls ensnared by the eldritch curse. Yet, amidst the despair, a flicker of light persisted, a beacon of hope that refused to be extinguished. The matriarch's presence, though faint, remained a guiding force. Her spirit a testament to the resilience and strength that had once defined the Eldridge family. In a moment of clarity, amidst the swirling chaos of the entity's assault, I understood the true nature of the trials and the labyrinth itself. They were not merely tests of courage or strength, but a journey of redemption, an opportunity to confront the darkness within and reclaim the light that the eldritch curse had sought to extinguish. With this realization, I drew upon the inner light that had guided me through the labyrinth, channeling its warmth and radiance into a shield against the encroaching darkness. The entity, taken aback by the defiance, intensified its assault, the shadows crashing against the light in a tempest of power and will. The battle raged, the very foundations of the estate trembling as the forces of light and darkness clashed. In the end, it was not strength of arms that turned the tide, but the strength of heart, a deep-seated belief in the possibility of redemption and the power of hope to overcome despair. As the entity's form began to wane, consumed by the light it had sought to extinguish, a profound silence fell over the labyrinth. The shadows receded, revealing the path that led out of the twisted heart of the estate, back to the world of the living. The Eldridge estate, once a symbol of darkness and despair, now stood as a monument to the journey I had undertaken. The trials of the labyrinth had not only revealed the depths of the Eldritch curse, but had also offered a chance for redemption for both the Eldritch lineage and myself. As I emerged from the labyrinth, the first rays of dawn breaking over the horizon, I knew that the tale of the Eldritch estate would not end with me. The shadows might recede, but they would never fully vanish. A constant reminder of the battle between light and darkness that rages within us all. Yet, in this moment of victory, there was a sense of peace, a knowledge that the cycle of curses and despair could be broken, that hope could emerge triumphant from the depths of darkness. The Eldritch estate, with its haunted halls and shadowed glades, would stand as a testament to this journey, a beacon for those who might one day find themselves ensnared by their own shadows, searching for the light. And so, the tale of the Eldritch estate and my own intertwined destiny concludes not with an end, but with a beginning. A promise that even in the darkest of nights, the light of hope can never be extinguished. The end